So it was the end of the 12th century, and there was this priest, his name was Father John. He'd just gotten done celebrating his first Mass ever, and he went into one of his brothers. His brother is Father Felix, his brother in his community, and he realized that after he had just celebrated the Mass, he experienced a vision, and the vision was he saw himself standing between two people. One was a Christian, and the other was a Muslim. And what was the call that he experienced was he experienced the call to, like, here's Jesus who gave all of himself to Father John at this Mass. In every Mass, of course, we know that the Lord Jesus gives us his body, his blood, his soul, his divinity, his everything to us. Father John had this vision of the call to give himself in trade, in exchange for Christians who are being held captive in Moorish countries. He told this to Father Felix, and Father Felix said, as it is with everything, we have to pray about this. And weeks passed, months passed, years passed, and finally, Father John was given another vision. And this vision convinced these two men that they needed to go. They needed to go and ransom the captive. One of the incredible works of mercy. These men, though, decided to take this idea, this call, this work of mercy, and to let it define their entire lives. They founded an order called the Trinitarian Order, and these were orders of men who came together to ransom actual Christians who were being held captive in far-off countries. Sometimes they would raise enough money in European countries and they'd bring gold and they'd buy these Christians back. But sometimes, on certain occasions, these priests would sell themselves into slavery to buy back Christians from people who are holding them hostage, holding them captive. They were not only willing to ransom the captive with money, they were willing to ransom the captive with their very lives. And they were given this fuel, they were given this mission, they were given the ability to do this by being fed every single day in the Eucharist. Because that's what's happening. Every single time you and I come to the Eucharist, what's happening is God himself, Jesus Christ himself, is giving us himself so that you and I can experience a life of freedom. All those people, every Catholic who experiences Sunday Mass or daily Mass, also experiences the commission to ransom the captive. We also experience the power to ransom the captive. Now, there might not be actual literal captives, might not be actual literal people who are being held hostage that you know of that you can actually save and buy back, but there's people that you and I know who are held spiritually captive. We know people who you and I know who are in our communities who are just barely making ends meet. We know people who are enslaved to a lack of finances, a lack of resources. We know people who are enslaved to their circumstances. Being fed by the Eucharist, this gift of Jesus Christ who ransoms your captive heart and my captive heart. How is God calling you to find the people among you who are being spiritually held in spiritual captivity, who are being held in financial captivity, who are being held in relational captivity in your life? How can you ransom them? How can you buy them back? How can you step into their life and set them free?